How do I try my best to avoid all these distractions that keeps coming up? Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, that's the big one, right? And we have this course that we need to finish, but all these things just keep coming up. You get all these notifications and you start to wonder, how can you finish such a big course when you're getting distracted so often? And in this video I wanted to explore that. But before that, I thank you guys for giving me all that support. I was honestly expecting like 6 views, but I got like 600, something like that. Whoa. And I thank you for allowing me to share this information with you guys, and together creating an environment where we all succeed and making our dreams come true. So how do I avoid distractions? But before I tell you that, let me tell you a bit of myself. I'm not a coder, even though I did CSC. Like you all know, I hated CSC. You read about microprocessor, stuff like that, not at all interested. If you call up my friend and ask whether I'm good at coding, they will say, bro, you're far away from good. So if a guy can understand this concept and implement it, definitely you can. I'm 100% sure. And that is why before we get to understand how not to get distracted, we first need to understand why we are getting distracted. This is us. Now, inside this small mind, we have tons of small goals, thoughts, tasks. For example, washing your clothes, doing your office work or something like that, walking your dog. This is my best representation of a mobile, right? WhatsApp, all that stuff. And we have so many tasks in our life that we have to deal with continuously. 1,000 years ago, not even 1,000, 100 years ago, people didn't have these many things that they were doing simultaneously. But today we are having so many tasks, like task 1, task 2. Oh man, is it coming to like this? 3, and so on and so forth. Now these thoughts, these goals, these tasks can be of 2 types. 1 is an open loop, 2 is a closed loop. What I mean by closed loop is, these are the tasks that you have completed. Let's say you were washing clothes and you have completed washing clothes. So what your brain does is it gives you a shot of dopamine, it gives you a shot of that good, and you feel happy, and then you forget about this task. You forget that you wash clothes and stuff like that. Your brain moves on to the next open loop. Now what do I mean by open loop? Open loop is a task that you haven't finished. Let's just say you're walking your dog. You're sitting in your house, you're watching applied AI course, but you forgot to walk your dog, right? So that thought would be in the state of open loop, right? That task is still unfinished. So these are the thoughts that would be called open loop. And we have multiple open loop thoughts. So in our small mind, we have multiple tasks, multiple open loops, and each loop is for a different size. For example, you doing the dishes might be a smaller open loop compared to you finishing the entire applied AI course, right? You clicking that notification in your phone is a very, very, very small open loop compared to finishing or watching one video. And what often happens is our mind is programmed to finish all these open loops and get the shot of dopamine as soon as possible. Like if you go back to the early times, for a caveman, it is much more advantageous to know that there is a lion that will be roaming in 3:30 in the morning, rather than knowing that his wife fed his daughter or something like that, right? So once the open loop finishes, your brain gives you a shot of dopamine and then you forget about it. And what internet and what all this Facebook, Instagram, all this creates is, it creates this tiny open loops. It's like all this clickbait stuff. Oh, someone commented about you, So that creates an open loop asking, okay, now who commented about me? That question starts an open loop. Now, you finishing that open loop is much more faster, easier compared to us watching applied AI course. So what happens? What happens is that we end up clicking that notification, and by the time you see, the day is over, and you'll just keep wishing that, okay, you know what, tomorrow I will finish this course, and that tomorrow never comes. At least for me, that happened for quite a while. Also, one more thing I would like to point out is that creating abstract goals creates a loop that basically cannot be closed. If you create a super abstract goal, let's just say I want to become rich, right? And let's just say you created an open loop of you becoming rich. Notice you cannot actually close that loop because it's super abstract. What do you mean by rich? What does your mind infer from rich? You don't know. You just look at someone, okay, rich, poor, rich, poor. You don't know what the boundary is. Thus, you will never be able to close that loop. But the problem is you'll be trying to spend all your time closing a loop that cannot be closed. So you will be pursuing wealth, and let's say you're trying to become rich, but you can never actually become rich because your brain don't know what rich is. So essentially that loop cannot be closed. So that is why you have to create super specific goals. Okay, what do you mean by rich? Earning 20 lakhs per year. What do you mean by getting wealthy? Okay, I must have this house with this much square feet in this area. That is a goal. Similarly, even for applied AI course, you cannot just say I'm going to finish the course. Although that is a less abstract goal, nonetheless it is an abstract goal. So what do you mean by you'll finish a goal? How many videos per week will you watch? How much time can you allocate for applied AI course, right? So you get all these thoughts, and you have to create very, very sensory goals so that you are able to create meaningful open loops and then close it. That is the key. And then you get the shot of happiness, right? But there's a problem. The problem is your brain. The problem is at any moment, your brain can only open or only become aware of one open loop. Let's just say you are walking your dog, and then you suddenly remember, oh damn, my friend commented on some Facebook post. Now this loop goes and this loop opens up, and you try to finish this loop, and by the time you finish this one, so this loop, let's just say your friend texted. Now you're trying to finish this open loop, right? Now before this finishes, another loop comes. Your mom just tells you to clean the room forcefully or else she won't give you the dinner. So now you'll stop doing this and you'll try to finish this open loop, right? So what we are basically doing is we are switching multiple times through all these different open loops, and we are constantly trying to finish so many open loops. And as you can see, that is not efficient. Definitely didn't work for 22 years, will definitely not work for another 22 years. So what can we do about it? Are we doomed to this meaningless existence? No. There are ways to tackle this. David Allen said if our brain had a brain, we wouldn't have much problems. What he meant by that is, if your brain had a brain, if your brain had a system that it could follow, it wouldn't have much problems. So the system I recommend, and what I'm reading from a book called Getting Things Done, the first step is called writing things down. Write all your open loops down so that you can free your RAM, free this mental space into a place that you trust. Don't just write it some random notebook and just throw it away somewhere. Your brain doesn't trust that. It should be open, right? So write all of your thoughts in a place that you trust. For me, it is Evernote. I note down all my stuff in Evernote. Second, if you're watching applied AI course, obviously something will come up, some thoughts will come up, some other open loop will come up, right? At that moment, you have a book, you have a pen, right? You take and write down that open loop in that book. Write down that thought in that book and get back to it after you watch the video. That is important. Remember that you are creating a system that you trust. When you write down something in that notebook, you know that you're getting to it. Not now, but later at least. So whenever you're watching this applied AI course, and if anything just comes up in your mind, write it down. Just immediately write it down so that it no longer stays in your brain. That's what I do. I'm watching a video and I just write stuff down. Okay, I have to do this, do that, make this video, right? Another thing got done. So to conclude this video, I would say you need to do two things. One, write down all the open loops that you have. For some people, it may take 1 hour. For some people, it may take 6 hours. But whenever you find, okay, this is an open loop, write it down somewhere. Second, when you're watching an applied AI course, when you're watching a video that you want to learn from, you're going to get distracted, right? Notice what's the thing that you're going to notice what's the thing that is distracting you, and write that down immediately. Imagine you're watching a video and say, okay, I have to walk the dog. Okay, just write that down somewhere. I have to walk the dog at 4, and continue watching your video. Let's just say you're watching the applied AI course and someone texts you, hey dude, you know what's up? Then I say, okay, I have to reply to this guy after watching this video, and just delete the notification. So that's how, at least this is one aspect of how we can tackle this distraction. I thank you for all the support that I got in my first video. It's really, mind-boggling that I even got someone to watch a video that I made. I didn't even publicize that much. So if you like this video, please share it with anyone that you think might find this useful, or you yourself learn this and teach it to someone else. That way you're also learning, the person you're teaching will also learn. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in next video.